I am 21 years old, and my name is Isabella. Wow, I can't even begin to describe the experience of completing my third year in art college. To understand me, though, you must first understand my background. As a child, I was never really at home at my family's residence. It was always crystal evident to my parents, Tom and Sarah, that my older sister Emily was their prized possession. She's been a constant source of frustration for me, and I'm 4 years her senior. Emily seems to despise me from the moment I entered this world. She would be quite cruel to me, teasing me and breaking my toys. Who are my parents? Without batting an eye, they just remarked, "Oh, that's just how sisters are." But that wasn't the usual. At the age of 14, I developed a serious crush on a boy at my school. Jake was his name, and he was the most adorable thing I'd ever seen. I would secretly sketch portraits of him for hours on end, then tuck them under my mattress, certain that no one would ever find them. Emily, however, located them. Are you aware of her actions? She made sure everyone could see them by pinning them to the school bulletin board. The laughter, pointing, and whispering that greeted me as I walked into school that day are still vivid in my memory. It seemed as if the entire universe had come tumbling down on me. Isabella, I saw the drawings." Jake stammered as he approached me. "I don't like you that way, even if you're sweet and all." The day I went home, I sobbed. With tears falling from my eyes, I stormed into the kitchen, where my parents were cooking. I was embarrassed at school by Emily, Mom, and Dad. My private drawings were discovered by her aunt. Unfortunately, Emily strutted in with a smug grin before I had a chance to finish. "Oh, come on, Izzy," she exclaimed, utilizing the moniker that I despised. "It was just a bit of fun. Not my fault you can't take a joke." What did my parents do anyway? Their laughter filled the air. Indeed, they quarreled. My mom responded, "My darling, you really need to get a tough skin." She was crying as she spoke. "You are being overly sensitive, and it is not Emily's fault." I was elated when I received the acceptance letter from the art college for that reason. It was my escape from the continual humiliation and ridicule in that household. The only person who ever truly loved me was my grandma. She was the one who praised my artistic abilities and urged me to pursue them. She was adamant about covering my tuition after I received my acceptance. "Isabella, you're really gifted," she remarked, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "Nobody has the right to tell you differently. The education you so well deserve is mine to secure." My entire education, including books, supplies, and a little more for living costs, was covered by her for 3 years. Then she became ill right before my last year of college. As I sat by her bedside, I clutched her fragile hand. "Isabella, my dear, I'm so proud of you," she continued, her kind eyes meeting mine. "My friend, you were destined for greatness." After that, she shifted her attention to my parents, who were positioned at the base of the bed. "Sarah, Tom, I need a pledge from you. Confess to me that you will cover Isabella's last year of school. It is imperative that she completes her degree." With serious nods, my parents agreed. "Certainly, Mom," my dad responded. "We promise." After 1 week, Grandma passed away. During her will reading, we learned that Mother had bequeathed her home to my parents and our jewelry collection to Emily and me. The diamond tiara was promptly seized by Emily. She declared, "I'll take this," on the spot. "Isabella is welcome to keep the ring. Jewelry isn't really her thing, is it, Izzy?" I remained silent. I wasn't a jewelry fan, and she was right. Consequently, I removed the diamond ring and placed it in the bank's secure vault. In college, I became friends quite fast. 2 individuals stood out. Marcus, a reserved man whose sculptures could leave you gasping for air, and Zoe, a punk rocker gifted with abstract art. The drama in my family was unimportant to them. They didn't think much of me beyond Isabella, the girl who had mad painting skills. Out of the blue, Zoe would say, "Hey, Bella," which was a moniker I really warmed up to. Downtown, there's a tattoo studio that needs a design artist. Submit an application. Initially, I was apprehensive, knowing that I was employed by a tattoo parlor would cause my parents to lose their composure. However, I eventually figured out why it matters if they think I'm stupid. After that, I submitted my application. That caught me off guard. I was hired. I was told, "You're hired, kid." After the owner, a muscular man named Mike who had more tattoos than flesh, looked over my portfolio. I was able to provide for my family at last. Despite its diminutive size, it was rightfully mine. I was quite secretive with everyone else except for Emily and my parents. Oh my goodness, look at little Izzy. She's even making pictures for gangsters now. Emily's mocking voice could already be heard. She is so kind. I thrived in college. In an effort to live up to my grandmother's expectations, I dove headfirst into my studies. The work I did was well received by my teachers, and I even took home several minor prizes. Above all else, though, I felt content. Time passed so quickly that I was nearing the end of my third year before I realized it. A feeling of old fear crept into my belly as the summer vacation drew near. Home was my only option. I walked into mayhem as soon as I opened the door. A flurry of activity filled the living room as folks eagerly awaited something. Emily, who was holding a white frock and beaming, stood at the heart of it all. First, my mom saw me, saying, "Oh, Isabella," her smile wavered ever so slightly. "I've brought you home. We didn't anticipate your arrival at this hour." Horrified, I just stood there. Emily is becoming a bride. At what point? Tell me when this occurred. A smirk spread across Emily's face as she shifted her attention to me. "Oh, I thought someone told you." I suppose it must have passed us by because we've all been so preoccupied with getting ready. It was as if someone had punched me in the stomach. I called Mom's number, trembling with fear. I was wondering why I was not invited to the wedding. I was told the wrong date by Emily. A lengthy silence followed. Caller ID showed Dad's voice. "It was your sister's wish that you not be present, Isabella. She claimed you would sabotage her idyllic day. We decided it was for the best not to let you know." I was on the verge of becoming ill. "Why would you subject me to this? I'm also your daughter." "Don't pull any punches," Mom interjected. "It's not like you really wanted to be there anyway, right?" My entire body trembled with rage and pain as I ended the call. When I got home a few days later, I discovered that Emily had also gotten back from her honeymoon. She was huddled with Mom and Dad as I entered the living room. They were all perusing rental listings. Upon my throat clearing, their heads sprang up. "Please remember to pay my tuition," I whispered. "You promised to pay for my last year if I gave Emily the ring." Uncomfortably, Dad moved. "Actually, Isabella, we've decided to use that money as a down payment on Emily's apartment instead." It was as if everything had crumbled beneath my feet. "Despite your word, I am still waiting. Grandma heard your vow." "Plans change," Mom replied with a lack of concern. "More so, Emily requires it. You're capable of finding a solution, I have no doubt." The sound of Emily's continued mocking laughter made my fury boil. I grabbed a handful of her hair in an impulsive move before I even realized what I was doing. Everyone started yelling as soon as Emily let out a scream. His cheeks flushed with rage. Dad violently pulled me away. "Enough," he yelled out. "Isabella, get out of this house right now." I sprinted to my room, stuffed some garments into a bag, and slammed the front door shut behind me as I stormed out. I came to a realization as I walked out of the house, my chest tight with emotion and my eyes moist with tears. Once again, I was at Zoe's apartment, bereft of direction and spirit. I sobbed and stared at the walls of her guest room for days on end, seldom leaving the room. Even though Zoe did her utmost to console me, I remained inconsolable. In this fog of hopelessness, a week slipped away. My heart skipped a beat when I got a message one morning while mindlessly checking my inbox. "So happy for you. The annual art school competition has chosen you as the winner. A complete academic scholarship for your senior year is part of your award." The email was so unbelievable that I had to read it 3 times. After that, I screamed, which sent Zoe fleeing. My cheeks flushed with joy as I swung my phone towards her. I triumphed. It was my turn to win. I am capable of finishing my schoolwork. After reading the email, Zoe's eyes widened, and she embraced me with an intense, painful embrace. "Oh my God, Bella, this is amazing." A flicker of optimism returned to me after what seemed like an eternity. I don't need my parents' financial support to complete my degree. I could figure it out on my own. I dove headfirst into my coursework as soon as the new semester began. I hardly had time to dwell on the family drama between my classes and my part-time job at the tattoo parlor. As time went on, I began to feel better. I was hanging out with Jake, a classmate of mine who had a part-time job at a pawn shop. One day, he brought up something that piqued my interest while we were discussing our day. "You won't believe what happened during my shift today," he pointed out. The girl entered the room adorned with an incredibly stunning diamond necklace and ring. Surely it was worth a small fortune. A little beat skipped my heart. "What did she look like?" I asked in an attempt to sound nonchalant. A woman who sounded identical to Emily was portrayed by Jake. "Can you draw the jewelry for me?" My hands were slightly trembling as I inquired. Jake nodded and followed orders. My assumptions were validated as I observed him sketch. It was my grandmother's ring, and the necklace belonged to Emily, who had always boasted about it. "Jake, could you please provide me with the pawn shop's security footage?" I asked, my voice cracking with frustration. After what seemed like an eternity, Jake nodded in response to the desperate look in my eyes. "Okay, I'll see what I can do." Jake gave me a flash drive a few days down the road. "Here," he pointed out, "but you didn't get this for me, okay?" After quickly returning to my dorm room, I nodded in gratitude. My hands quivered as I nervously connected the drive and launched the video file. Emily appeared as bright as day as she relinquished the jewels. What followed, though, was absolutely shocking. An individual walked into view just as she pivoted to depart. Emily embraced him tightly and kissed him passionately. No, Richard wasn't it. With my heart racing, I drew nearer to the television. I was startled to see the man's small pivot. He was obvious to me. He was Emily's ex-boyfriend, the one our parents had forcibly ended her relationship with due to his ties to the criminal underworld. As my thoughts raced, I reclined. Emily was reportedly unfaithful to her husband and had pawned her valuable jewels, which included my grandmother's ring. Her ex-boyfriend had a criminal past. I wanted to share this film with my parents, Richard, and anybody else who had ever believed Emily's falsehoods the second it came out. On the other hand, I was hesitant. This was a major matter, too important to be handled hastily. After a few months had gone, I decided to finally put the family drama in the past. Suddenly, my phone started ringing. Lisa, my mom's sister, was my aunt. "Isabella, darling, I have wonderful news," she exclaimed with joy, her voice quivering with anticipation. "Honey, your sis is expecting a baby. Are you kidding me? Big news. Next week, they're throwing an announcement party. How thrilling, isn't it?" Sobs went out of my chest. It was yet another family gathering to which I had not received an invitation. "You're welcome, Aunt Lisa. Your notification is much appreciated." I sat on my bed, consumed by turmoil after hanging up. I wanted to push it aside and keep severing links with my poisonous family. Part of me, though, was certain that this might be my opportunity since I couldn't let go of the footage from the pawn shop. My parents' house was the place I ended up standing outside a week after that. There were cars parked along the street, and the sound of voices inside was amusing and lively. I stepped up to the front door, rang the bell, and took a deep breath. As soon as she laid eyes on me, Mom's smile quickly faded as she opened the door. "Isabella, what are you doing here?" Entering the living area, I pushed past her. When individuals began to notice me, the chit-chat subsided. It appeared as though Emily had seen a ghost as she stood in the room's middle with Richard. "What is she doing here?" Emily hissed in response. Dad's voice resounded all over the place. "Isabella, leave this house right now. This is not the place for you." Guests may be heard muttering in confusion. I observed the concerned looks exchanged between Richard's parents. Mom put on an act because she is always trying to save face. "Excuse me, everyone. Isabella and us have had to separate ways. She has grown extremely avaricious, and it has become disgraceful to our family." Outbursts of bickering filled the room. My parents' viewpoint was supported by some relatives, while I was protected by others. I got angry and shouted, "I have something to say." Slowly but surely the room grew silent as every gaze landed on me. I looked across at Emily. "Sis, I am so happy for you with your pregnancy. However, I must inquire, why aren't you donning the tiara and ring that belonged to grandma?" Emily flushed. Her mother-in-law raised her voice. "I haven't laid eyes on that stunning ring for quite some time. Now that you bring it up, how can I find it, Emily?" "I sent them for restoration." Emily stammered over her words. "It was time to clean them." With a leisurely motion, I drew out my phone and nodded. "That's interesting because I have a video here that tells a different story." As I linked my phone to the TV, Emily's expression turned pale. The pawn shop's security tape started playing. Emily was there, pawning the jewelry with her face as plain as day. What followed was the scene that sent shockwaves through the room, and enthralled Emily passionately kissing a man who was most certainly not Richard. As soon as the video started playing, the living room became a complete mess. As Richard faced Emily, his expression betrayed his anguish and fury. "Emily, could you tell me what I'm looking at? Just who is that guy?" He raised his voice in a booming voice. Emily sobbed uncontrollably, her mascara running down her cheeks. "I can explain." With an icy tone in her voice, Richard's mom rose to her feet. "I think we all deserve an explanation, Emily." A stern-faced man, Richard's father, raised his voice. "A paternity test seems necessary, without delay." As rumors spread and tempers rose, I crept out of the house under cover. My mission had been accomplished. I hadn't had a weight lifted off my shoulders in years, but that all changed when the truth came out. The entire scope of Emily's deceit was revealed during the subsequent weeks. I heard rumors in the family that she had been meeting up with her ex-boyfriend, the one with ties to the criminal underworld, in secret, all while Richard was sleeping. She drank from Richard's fountain of youth and pawned her valuables to settle his debts. The last straw were the paternity test findings. Her ex-boyfriend was the biological father, not Richard. Divorce papers were filed by Richard, who was understandably distraught. Claiming financial fraud and emotional harm, he sued Emily for a large amount. Emily was left to confront the fallout on her alone when her ex-boyfriend mysteriously disappeared after finding out she was pregnant. My parents, who had always held Emily in high regard, had to confront the truth about what she had done. In order to help Emily pay the compensation that Richard requested, they had to take out a sizable loan. They were left to pick up the pieces after their beloved child had fallen from grace. Suddenly, they began to accuse me of being responsible for everything. In an accusatory and bitter tone, my mom left a voicemail on my phone. "Isabella, are you content right now? You have made life unbearable for your sister. I hope you feel accomplished." I chose not to reply and instead erased the note. I was no longer vulnerable to the hurtful effects of their comments. To get my life in order, I went back to school, gave it my all, and concentrated on becoming the person I always imagined myself to be. My family and I have severed all ties of connection after I changed my email and phone numbers. The poisonous loop was subsequently shattered. On that fateful day, 2 years ago, I uncovered Emily's lies. Professors and local art critics both gave me high marks for my capstone project, which helped me graduate with honors from art college. At the age of 23, I am currently employed at the city's Harmony Art Gallery. Being able to spend each day in the company of stunning artwork, lend a hand with exhibition curation, and plan events for emerging artists is an absolute dream job. Not only that, though, several collectors have taken an interest in my paintings, which has taken me by surprise and happiness. I've started painting in my spare time, but I still remember where I came from. As a hobby, I still like to draw designs for tattoos. It has evolved into a beloved pastime, serving as a bridge to my heritage and a constant reminder of my progress. The thought that tattoo magazines have included some of my designs makes me happy every time. Well, that's a convoluted story when it comes to my family. Some aunts and cousins stuck by me through the rough patches, and I've kept in touch with them. Try not to be affected by the family drama anymore, but they keep me updated. So far as I am aware, Emily has not left our parents' house. Raising her child alone is difficult for her because she is unemployed. Her parents are often telling her to get a job and go because they're having money problems too. From what I've heard, the arguments are regular and heated. Ever since that day, I have avoided communicating with my parents and Emily. They made an initial attempt to contact me via guilt-tripping messages and angry voicemails, but I was adamant about my decision to end our relationship. They gave up trying after a while. To turn things around, I've been seeing a fantastic man named Alex for almost a year now. At an art gallery event, I met this graphic designer. Not only is he understanding of my love for painting, but he is also nice and encouraging. One further step towards creating the life I desire, moving in together, is something we're discussing soon.
Hey there, I'm Emily Parker, your friendly neighborhood software engineer from the Chicago suburbs. I'm lounging in my cozy apartment, sipping on coffee and aimlessly scrolling through my phone when it buzzes. It's my mom, Linda. Hey, sweetie, have you heard the big news? I roll my eyes. What news, Mom? Your brother Jason is engaged. Isn't it wonderful? I nearly spit out my coffee. Wait, what? Jason, engaged? Yes, to that lovely girl, Megan, he's been seeing. Oh, Emily, we're so excited. Let me fill you in on Jason. At 25, he's still living the post-college life, minus the actual college part. Sure, he's got a marketing job, but his real talent is blowing money he doesn't have and charming his way out of the consequences. Naturally, I call my best friend Sophia. Soph, you are not going to believe this. Jason's engaged. No way. To that Instagram girl? Yep, Megan, the influencer herself. Oh boy, this should be interesting. How do you feel about it? I sigh. Honestly, I'm worried. Jason isn't exactly Mr. Responsible. Later that day, I'm at work, trying to focus when my coworker Michael notices me zooming out. Emily, you've been staring at that code for, 10 minutes. You good? I spill the beans about Jason's engagement. Michael listens and then shrugs. Maybe it'll be good for him, settling down and all. I chuckle. You clearly don't know Megan. Settling down isn't in her vocabulary, unless it's followed by in a mansion. That evening, I head over to my parents' house. As I pull up in my reliable old sedan, bought with my own hard-earned cash, thank you very much, I spot Jason's pride and joy, Grandpa's vintage Mustang, gleaming in the driveway. That car is practically family. Inside, it's like a wedding planning frenzy. Mom, Dad, Jason, and Megan are flipping through bridal magazines like their lives depend on it. Emily, Mom beams, come look at these venues Megan picked out. I glance at the prices and nearly choke again. Wow, can you guys afford this? Jason waves me off. Don't worry, we've got it all figured out. Yeah, Megan chimes in, flashing her massive engagement ring. It's going to be the wedding of the century. I catch my dad's eye. Dad, don't you think this is a bit much? He just smiles. Now, Emily, it's a special day. We want it to be perfect for your brother. As I drive home, a knot forms in my stomach. This perfect wedding. It's going to lead to some very imperfect problems. The next week, I stop by my parents' place again, but something's wrong. Grandpa's Mustang is gone. I feel a rush of panic as I knock on the door. Hey, where's the Mustang? I ask as Jason sheepishly steps forward. Ah, about that. My heart sinks. You didn't. Emily, weddings are expensive. We needed the cash. It feels like a punch in the gut. You sold Grandpa's car for this ridiculous wedding. Jason crosses his arms defensively. It's not ridiculous, it's our dream. It's insane. That car was part of our family. Mom and Dad come rushing in, probably hearing my raised voice. What's going on? Dad asks. I turn to them, fuming. Did you know Jason sold the Mustang? Their faces give them away. They knew. Sweetie, Mom starts cautiously. We understand this is upsetting, but what? You're okay with this? Dad steps in. Emily, your brother is starting a new life. He needs our support. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Support? This isn't support, it's enabling. Jason scoffs. Oh, here we go. Say Emily, always so perfect. At least I'm not afraid to take risks. The argument escalates until I storm out, slamming the door behind me. Later that week, I meet Sophia for coffee. They're unbelievable. I vent. It's like Jason can do no wrong. Sophia nods sympathetically. Have you talked to Michael about this? Not yet. Why? Well, he knows people. Maybe he's heard something. Curious. That night, I call Michael. Hey, weird question. Have you heard anything about Jason? There's a pause. Actually, yeah. And it's not good? My heart skips a beat. What do you mean? Word is, he's been borrowing money, but not from banks. My blood runs cold. What are you saying? There's this guy, Victor. Real nasty piece of work. A loan shark. I feel sick. Are you sure? Pretty sure, Emily. Be careful. This guy doesn't mess around. The next day, I confront Jason at his apartment. Who's Victor? Jason's face goes pale. How do you? It doesn't matter. What are you thinking? Just then, Megan waltzes in, all smiles. Hi, Emily. We were just discussing cake flavors. What do you think about lavender vanilla? I ignore her. Jason, this is serious. You're in over your head. Megan's tone shifts, snapping at me. Mind your own business, Emily. We've got everything under control. Really? Even Jason losing his job? Jason's eyes widen in shock. Megan turns to him, her smile vanishing. Wait, what? You lost your job? The facade crumbles. Jason breaks down, admitting everything. I leave feeling hollow. At home, I call Sophia again. It's a mess, Soph, and my parents are just enabling him. What are you going to do? I sigh. I don't know, but I can't keep watching this train wreck. Good, Sophia says. It's time you stood up for yourself, Em. As I hang up, I realize she's right. It's time to stop being the perfect daughter and start looking out for myself. The wedding is coming, and with it, a storm none of us are ready for. The big day finally arrived, and I found myself lost in a sea of tulle, glitter, and extravagance. Jason and Megan's wedding was every bit the over-the-top spectacle I'd expected. I leaned over to Sophia, my plus one. Can you believe this place? I whispered. It's like a unicorn threw up in here. Shh, your mom's coming, Sophia warned. Sure enough, Mom approached, beaming with pride. Isn't it beautiful, Emily? Your brother looks so happy. I forced a smile. Yeah, Mom, it's something. As I made my way to the bar, I'd overheard Megan chatting with her bridesmaids, and he didn't even hesitate. One mention of my dream wedding, and that old car was history. A week later, my phone buzzed at 7 a.m. It was Jason. Hey, sis, I've got a favor to ask. I sighed. What now, Jason? I've got some job interviews lined up, but well, with the Mustang gone. You need a ride? I finished for him, already exasperated. Just for a week, tops, please, Em. I get it's my better judgment, I agreed. But as the week went on, something didn't sit right. Jason's so-called interviews were at odd hours and in strange locations. On day 5, curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to follow him. To my shock, I watched as Jason picked up strangers, clearly doing ride shares in my car. That night, I confronted him outside our parents' house. Job interviews, huh? Funny, I didn't realize Uber was hiring. Jason's face fell. Emily, I can explain. Save it. You've been using my car for ride shares. Are you insane? I'm trying to make money here. You should be supporting me. Supporting you? You lied to me, Jason. Our argument drew Mom and Dad outside. What's going on? Dad demanded. Your precious son has been using my car for ride shares, lying about job interviews. I snapped. Mom looked stunned. Jason, is this true? Jason put on his best innocent face. I'm just trying to provide for Megan. You understand, right? To my disbelief, Mom and Dad softened. Well, Dad began, at least he's showing initiative. I couldn't believe my ears. Are you kidding me? He lied. He's putting my car at risk. Mom tried to soothe me. Now, Emily, family helps family. Jason's going through a rough patch. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. It was my boss. Hello? Yes, I'm on my way. What? No, I'll be there, I promise. I hung up, panic setting in. I've got to go. Big presentation today. I jumped in my car, praying I make it in time. But halfway there, the engine made a horrible noise and smoke poured from under the hood. No, no, no. I pulled over, helpless as I watched my career go up in smoke. Literally. Hours later, I sat in a mechanic's waiting room, my missed presentation looming large in my mind. Mom and Dad walked in, looking concerned. Oh, sweetie, Mom began gently. Jason told us what happened. Are you okay? I stared at them, incredulous. Am I okay? I just missed a career-defining presentation because Jason trashed my car. Dad frowned. Now, Emily, accidents happen. Jason feels terrible. I'm sure he does, I spat. And let me guess, you're here to ask me to forgive him? Mom looked hurt. We're family, Emily. We support each other through thick and thin. I stood up, shaking with anger. Support? Where's my support? When has anyone in this family ever supported me? As I stormed out, leaving my parents stunned, I knew something had to change, and it had to start with me. After that blow-up at the mechanics, I knew we needed to do something drastic. I called Jason, trying to sound like the forgiving sister. Hey, I've been thinking, maybe I can help you get a job at my company. Really? You do that for me? Jason asked, sounding hopeful. Of course. What's family for? I cringed internally as I said it. The next day, I met Jason at a coffee shop near my office. So, where's this interview? He asked, looking around. Oh, it's not here. Follow me, I said, leading him to a sketchy part of town. We stopped in front of a rundown building. This doesn't look like your company. It's not, Jason. Meet Victor. A burly man stepped out of the shadows. Jason's face went white. What's going on? He stammered. I pulled out my phone, hitting record. Why don't you tell Victor about your business plans? Thinking he was impressing a potential investor, Jason began to brag. Oh man, I've got it all figured out. Insurance scams, identity theft, you name it. These suckers won't know what hit them. Victor's amusement quickly turned to anger. Suckers, huh? Like me? Jason realized his mistake too late. No, wait, I didn't mean. You owe me money, punk. I want it. I slipped away, leaving Jason to face the consequences of his actions. That night, I sent the recording to everyone who needed to hear it. The next morning, all hell broke loose. My phone exploded with messages. Emily, how could you? Mom sobbed. Is this true? Dad demanded. Megan's message was brief. It's over. I ignored them all and focused on packing my bags. Sophia and Michael helped me move to a new city where I immersed myself in work. Months passed and I got promoted, made new friends, and slowly started to feel like myself again. Then, out of the blue, Michael called with shocking news. Emily, you might want to sit down for this. Jason's been arrested, fraud charges. And your parents? They're not doing so hot. A twinge of guilt crept in, but I pushed it aside. Thanks for telling me, Michael. A week later, while sipping coffee at my favorite cafe, I heard familiar voices. I looked up to see Mom and Dad, looking older and more tired than I remembered. What are you doing here? I asked, my heart racing. Dad spoke first. We came to apologize. I'm listening. We were wrong, Emily. So wrong. We never should have enabled Jason like that. No, you shouldn't have, I interjected. Dad continued. We failed you, Emily. Can you ever forgive us? I took a deep breath. I don't hate you, but I can't pretend everything's okay. Mom's eyes filled with tears. We just want a chance to make things right. I need time and space, I said firmly. I hope you can respect that. As I walked away, I heard Dad call out. We're proud of you, Emily. We should have said that a long time ago. I didn't turn back, but I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. For the first time in years, I felt truly free. Whatever came next, I knew I could handle it. After all, I was Emily Parker, and I was done living in anyone's shadow. The story of Emily Parker and her family's turmoil had reached its conclusion. Now, I have a question for you. If you were in Emily's shoes, would you have exposed Jason's schemes, knowing it could tear your family apart? Or would you have chosen to keep the peace, even at your own expense? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hey there, I'm Lisa Martinez, the 28-year-old founder of Ugly Duckling Games. Right now, I'm hunched over my computer, putting the finishing touches on my latest game when my phone buzzes. It's Mom. Lisa, honey, don't forget about family dinner tonight. I groan. Do I have to? You know how Grandma Vera gets. Please, sweetie, for me. I sigh, knowing there's no way out of this one. Fine, I'll be there. As I get ready, memories flood back, mine as 10-year-old me, proudly showing Grandma Vera my first computer program. That's nice, dear, she had said, barely glancing at it. But wouldn't you rather play with makeup? Maybe it would help, you know. I shake off the memory and head to my parents' house. The moment I walk in, I hear Vera's voice. Oh, Lisa, still dressing like a teenage boy, I see. I force a smile. Nice to see you too, Grandma. My phone buzzes again. It's Zoe, my best friend and lead artist. How's it going? Need an escape plan? I'm about to respond when my cousin Bella bounces in, all perfect hair and Instagram-ready smile. Lisa, OMG, I love your shirt. Before I can reply, Vera chimes in. Bella, darling, you look stunning, as always. You should give Lisa some tips. I clench my fists, but my boyfriend Derek squeezes my hand. You've got this, he whispers. Dinner is a minefield of backhanded compliments and thinly veiled jabs. So Lisa, Vera starts, still playing with your little computer games. I take a deep breath. Actually, Grandma, my little game just hit 1 million downloads. My dad perks up. That's fantastic, sweetie. But Vera waves it off. Yes, but Bella here just hit 2 million followers on Instagram. Now, that's success. I push my food around my plate, feeling like that awkward kid again. But then I remember something. I'm not that kid anymore. I'm the founder of Ugly Duckling Games. I've created worlds, told stories, and touched lives. You know what, Grandma? I say, standing up. I'm proud of my little games. They might not make me look perfect in photos, but they make me happy, and isn't that what really matters? The table falls silent. Vera looks shocked, my parents exchange glances, and Bella. Wait, is she smiling at me? As I drive home that night, I feel different, stronger. For the first time, I stood up to Vera. It might not change everything, but it's a start. Months flew by, and Ugly Duckling Games was soaring. Our latest game, Pixel Perfect, was blowing up. I was in the middle of a team meeting when my phone buzzed again. It was Mom. Lisa, it's your grandfather. He's in the hospital. I rushed over, laptop and towel. The whole family was there, including Vera, who looked more haggard than I'd ever seen her. Lisa, she sniffed, couldn't you have dressed up a bit? This is a hospital, not a party. I bit my tongue to focus on Grandpa. Days passed, and I split my time between hospital visits and remote work. One evening, I overheard Vera and Bella whispering in the cafeteria. But Grandma, are you sure about this full facelift? It's so expensive, Bella was saying. I have to, darling. I'm losing followers by the day. These wrinkles are killing my brand. I rolled my eyes and was about to leave when Vera spotted me. Lisa, perfect timing. I need to talk to you about a business proposition. My stomach dropped. What kind of proposition? Vera smiled sweetly. Well, dear, I know your little game company is doing well, and family helps family, right? I was hoping you could fund my procedures. Think of it as an investment in the family image. I stared at her, speechless. Was she serious? Grandma, I can't just. That's not how business works. And it's not a little company, it's my livelihood. Vera's smile turned cold. Oh, please, as if playing games is a real job. I'm talking about real issues here. My appearance affects the whole family. Something in me snapped. Real issues. Like how you've torn down my self-esteem since I was a kid? How you've always favored Bella and made me feel worthless. Vera gasped dramatically. How dare you? After all I've done for this family? Our shouting match drew attention. My parents rushed over. What's going on here? Dad demanded. Vera turned on the waterworks. Your daughter is being terribly selfish. All I asked was a small favor. Mom tried to placate everyone. Now, I'm sure we can work this out. Lissa, maybe you could spare a little. I couldn't believe it. Are you kidding me? You're taking her side again? To my shock, Bella spoke up. Actually, I think Lissa's right, Grandma. This is too much to ask. Vera rounded on Bella. You ungrateful child. Do you know how much I've invested in your career? As the argument escalated, I slipped away, feeling drained. I found a quiet corner and called Zoe. Zoe, you won't believe what just happened. I spilled everything. Zoe listened, then said, Elle, you've got to stand up to her, once and for all. This is toxic as hell. Derek, who had just arrived at the hospital, found me and echoed Zoe's sentiments. Bae, you're not that scared kid anymore. You're a successful businesswoman. Don't let her push you around. I nodded, feeling a mix of anger and determination. You're right, this ends now. As I hung up, I saw Vera approaching, fake tears still in place. But this time, I was ready for her. Lissa dear, about our little misunderstanding. I held up a hand. Save it, Grandma. I'm done playing your games. And trust me, I know games. The look on her face was priceless. For once, Vera was speechless. As I walked away, I felt lighter. But I knew this wasn't over. Vera wouldn't give up easily. And honestly, neither would I. Game on, Grandma. After our hospital showdown, I decided to play Vera at her own game. I called her, forcing sweetness into my voice. Grandma, I've been thinking about your request. Maybe we can work something out. Vera's tone instantly changed. Oh, Lissa, I knew you'd come around. You're such a good girl. As I hung up the phone, Zoe raised an eyebrow. What are you up to? I grinned. Let's just say Grandma's about to star in her own game. Over the next few weeks, I dug into Vera's past, and what I uncovered was shocking. Years of manipulating family members, including draining Bella's social media earnings for her own investments. I called Bella. Hey, cuss. Quick question. Have you ever actually seen the profits from your sponsored posts? Her hesitation spoke volumes. Well, Grandma handles all that. She says it's for tax purposes. Bingo. At the studio, we were in crunch mode for our new game True Colors, but now I had a secret mission. Guys, we're adding a new character, the Narcissist Queen. And wait till you see her special moves. As we prepped for the launch party, I kept Vera sweet, even suggesting we host it at our favorite country club. Oh, you dear girl, she gushed. I knew you'd see things my way eventually. But behind the scenes, I was gathering receipts, bank statements, emails, even recorded conversations. Vera had been busy and not in a good way. The night before the launch, disaster struck, a massive bug in the final boss fight, the Narcissist Queen battle. Lissa, we can't fix this in time. Our lead coder panicked. I looked at the clock. 2 a.m. The launch was in 16 hours. We have to. Failure is not an option. We coded through the night, fueled by energy drinks and sheer determination. As the sun rose, we finally squashed the bug. Exhausted, I stumbled home for a quick shower, only to find 7 missed calls from Vera. Lissa, I've decided I want to speak at your little party. Prepare a proper introduction for me. Oh, and I'll need hair and makeup. Send a car, won't you? I gritted my teeth. Sure, Grandma. Anything else? Well, now that you mention it. By the time I got to the venue, I was running on fumes. Dope crept in. Was I taking this too far? Zoe found me hiding in the bathroom. Cold feet, she asked. I sighed. Maybe. This is too much. She's still family, you know. Zoe grabbed my shoulders. Elle, remember all those nights you cried because of her? How she made you feel worthless. This isn't just about you anymore. It's about Bella, your parents, everyone she's manipulated. Derek poked his head into the bathroom. Ladies' room, but Zoe's right, babe. Vera needs to face the music. I took a deep breath. You're right, both of you. Let's do this. The launch party for True Colors was in full swing. Industry bigwigs, family, and Vera's high society friends mingled, sipping champagne and eyeing the game demos scattered around the room. I took the stage, my heart pounding. Welcome, everyone. True Colors isn't just a game, it's a journey through the maze of toxic relationships. As I guided the crowd through each level, Vera's face grew increasingly pale. The Narcissist Queen's tactics were eerily familiar to anyone who knew her. In this level, I explained, the player must navigate the Queen's gaslighting maze. Each turn reveals a hidden truth. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Vera shifted uncomfortably in her seat. I continued, my voice growing stronger. Gaming taught me that every boss has a weakness, even the ones in real life. The room fell silent as I locked eyes with Vera. For years I was told I was the ugly duckling, the failure. But today, I'm standing here, successful, while someone else's true colors are showing. Suddenly, the screens lit up with Vera's incriminating emails and bank statements. Gasps echoed through the room. Bella stood up, tears in her eyes. Grandma, is this true? You've been stealing my earnings. Vera sputtered. Bella, darling, it's not what it looks like. Save it, Bella snapped. I trusted you. Vera's eyes darted around the room, searching for allies, but found none. Desperate, she lashed out. You ungrateful brats. After everything I've done for this family. Her outbursts only served to reveal more of her cruelty. One by one, family members and friends turned away from her. My parents approached me, their faces filled with shame. Lisa, we're so sorry. We should have protected you. I nodded, tears pricking my eyes. It's a start. In the weeks that followed, True Colors became a smash hit, praised for its raw portrayal of emotional abuse. Ugly Duckling Games shifted focus, creating games that promoted self-acceptance and anti-bullying messages. Bella reached out, wanting to collaborate on a project to help young influencers protect themselves from exploitation. As for Vera, last I heard, she'd been cut off from her social circles, her carefully crafted image in tatters. Sitting in my office, looking at the True Colors poster on the wall, I couldn't help but smile. The ugly duckling had grown up, faced her demons, and emerged victorious. A notification popped up on my phone, another glowing review for our latest game, Rise of the Underdog. I leaned back in my chair, reflecting on the journey from a little girl crushed by cruel words to a woman strong enough to stand up to her abuser. It hadn't been easy, but it was worth it. The intercom buzzed. Boss, the team's waiting for the meeting. On my way, I replied, standing up. As I walked to the conference room, I passed a mirror. For the first time in forever, I didn't see an ugly duckling. I saw a swan, strong and beautiful in her own unique way. Game over, Vera. This ugly duckling just won. And that's a wrap on Lissa's journey, from belittled granddaughter to triumphant game developer. Now, we want to hear from you. Was Lissa justified in publicly exposing Vera's manipulation and abuse, or did she go too far by humiliating her grandmother at the game launch? Where's the line between justice and revenge when it comes to family toxicity? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.